Good evening, everyone. How are you today? Today is the 2nd of May, lovely May, and we are going to continue in Unit 5, Upper Intermediate New Headway course. Okay? Today we are going to start with reading and speaking inspirational teenagers. Before I go to this, I want to talk about a very important techniques, okay, in reading techniques that we need to learn about and to follow and to use, actually, okay. These two techniques are very important for students who want to read a very long article or post, or they need to find information, or for students who are going for TOEFL and IELTS, okay. The two techniques are called skimming and scanning. What's the difference between skimming and and scanning? What is skimming and what is scanning? How to do both of them? Okay, skimming. I can summarize this with two words: general information about, or an overall view or preview about the article. While scanning is going for details, facts. Okay, specific information. Also, I know, I can say skimming is to know the general content, and scanning is to answer questions. So when I say answer questions, you are going for details, important information, and specific facts, okay? Skimming and scanning are, let me say, reading techniques that we all use, and it's used by, rapid movement of the eye, or, just to have a very quick look at the article in order to get what you want, or to know the content, or to learn about to have an idea about what you are going to read, okay, or to go through. Also, I can talk about, we have some, as I said before, slight difference between skimming and scanning. First, we start with skimming, okay, as I said, general information, headlines. I can go for reading rapidly, okay, in order to get general overview of the material, and also it's like it's like snorkeling, okay, to just to check what you have, okay. And how to do it? Actually, skimming, we use skimming to save time, okay, to get an idea, or a previous idea, or a general idea about what we are going to read. We are not going to read every single word, okay, but we are going to be alert, okay, for keywords, dates, nouns, names, numbers, countries, things like that, and also phrases or idioms or something like this. So, as I said, this is about skimming, and it's like, glancing through the main headings, okay. While scanning is like finding or diving to find the pearl, okay. So skimming is, as snorkeling. I don't know if you are familiar to these two words. Like, snorkeling is to go underwater and check to see the view there, and look at the fish, and the world of the sea or ocean from under. And scanning is like finding the pearl. So you are diving for a specific thing, or for something that is particular, okay. So you go to find the pearl, okay. This is what we mean by scanning. Also, it's like to locate where the facts are, and also, it's like to know what you are looking for, okay. You already know what you are looking for when you go for scanning. What else? Some keywords, okay, that are related of time or something like this, related to time, sorry. And generally, when you go for scanning, when your eye catch or catches the word or the fact you're looking for, try to read the surrounding materials or the surrounding information, because they can give you like a more specific, accurate idea and answer about what you are reading. So again, I can summarize this by skimming is like snorkeling, and I like this, okay? I will say that. And scanning is more like, you know, pearl diving. That's it. Today we are going to talk about these two important, you know, techniques that I wanted to speak about, because we have long article here about teenagers. Generally, when we talk about teenagers, what comes to your mind? Something positive or negative? So I think it's something, you know, a bit, if you are a parent or if you are like an older brother, so you will go for like something really negative, because you feel like, you know, it's a fussy age, okay, and it's a difficult age to deal with. So what can you, or how can you describe yourself as a teenager? And what do you think of other teenagers? Also, what parents think of teenagers and what teenagers think of parents. The old generation, what they think of the new one, and the new one, or they think of the old ones. So here we are going to talk about teenagers and, you know, something called generation gap. I don't know if you're familiar to this generation gap, you know, the differences we have in thinking and, you know, in considering things, you know, between parents and the children, or grandparents and the grandchildren. Okay, so have you ever suffered you know, from this, suffered from being, you know, a difficult teenage, or suffered from, you know, not being able to communicate well with parents or with the grandparents, or with also not only, you know, relatives, but surrounding? It could be teachers, could be relatives, could be, you know, your friends' parents or grandparents. Anyway, like, you know, it's not only about parents, but it's a general view or perspective that we have about teenagers. You know, so some teenagers think that, you know, they are going through very difficult changes related to their personality, related to their, you know, way of thinking, being dependent and or independent. So were you a dependent one or independent one? Here, like the first question we have, reading and speaking. Inspirational teenagers. Is inspirational, that means, like, you know, the ones that we look at as positive role models, okay? Teenagers who had made something in their lives, who went to be like kind of genius, okay, or did something that that was very important in their lives, and they were to be considered as you know, not idols, but, you know, talented, or, you know, positive role model. Okay. Here they say, like, how do people of different ages see each other in your country? Actually, it depends on the city, on the country, and the circumstances, on the conditions that every country, you know, had. Anyway, like, or has in general. They say, what do old people think of young people? What do young people think of old people? What do parents think of teenagers? What do teenagers think of their parents? If you are able to answer these questions, okay, so you already get a general idea about you know, what we are going to go through now. And also, you know, like, it's about how can I say that? It's about, you know, being able to explain yourself and use the language, okay, and to be aware of the changes that every person has in different, you know, stages of his life or periods of his life. So old people, what do old people think of young people? First thing, careless, irresponsible, naggy, fussy, okay, and lazy. You know, like, this is what we all hear, you know, from people around us, from friends, from, you know, especially like, you know, our grandchildren, no, our grandparents and our parents. Okay, so also what do young people think of old people? Here, like we are talking about, they think like they are difficult to deal with. They are demanding people, you know, demanding people. They want, they always want more. They are never satisfied. They are never pleased of of what you do. Okay, so this is the idea about being difficult to deal with and fussy, and also not easy to be satisfied. Also, what do young people think of old people? What do you think? From your own experience, of course. Here you can, you know, everybody can talk about his own experience. Old-fashioned, the first thing. Not open-minded. Okay, so don't accept changes easily. Like, you know, unlike young people accept changes easily. It depends. Like, you know, it varies from person to person because of, you know, something related to the personality itself. But, you know, here we're talking about general, you know, so we are open to every new thing and open to new technology and to new ways of dealing with life, things like that, while other old people don't have that flexibility. Parenting of teenagers, I think it's the same, you know, related to the first two. Parenting of teenagers, lazy, careless, you know, hard to deal with, moody most of the time, moody. Also, teenagers think of their parents. They think like their parents are, as I said, like responsible and hardworking. You know, we have this, like, we always feel like our parents never feel tired, while we tend to feel tired. Okay, as teenagers, I'm not one. Okay, so yeah, this is like what we can think of, you know, different ideas. Of course, you know, as I said, you can add as many ideas as you want, talking about, you know, generation gap and you know, things related to personality changes. Okay, while you are going through your teenage and yeah, I know it's like it's tough time. It's like, you know, some people have late you know, teenagehood, and it's like they feel like these people are or suffer more than, you know, the young ones. Anyway, and also like people who are, you know, or teenagers tend to feel independent in a way, like dependent in having, you know, taking money or something like this, but independent in making their own decisions, choosing their own friends, which is the most important thing. Okay, choosing friends. You know, so these are difficult and good ones at the same time. We have to be very aware, very responsible, and very careful, okay, about dealing with teenagers. So now let's read one by one. I just gave you a general idea about the reading and also the two techniques we are going to follow here. Why don't we start with the questions and the first topic? Okay, so to read about the people, we have three teenagers who were positive role models. Okay, we are going to number three, because I already talked about number one, which is like the differences in thinking, or you know, in perspectives. Okay, about old people and young ones, parents and teenagers and parents. Okay, so here let's go for, you know, the questions. As I said, when you are going to read about the three teenagers without reading the questions, so you are doing the skimming. When you read the questions and you go to read the article to answer the questions, it's a scanning, okay? The questions are like, what is inspirational about him, and what, like, every one of them. By the way, what do you think of inspirational? Inspirational, like someone who inspires you to do something. You look at him in a positive way. He, in a way or another, he gives you courage, positive thinking, and willingness, okay, to do what you want to do or what you dream of doing, okay? So, talking about the first teenager here, we can talk about what is inspirational about him. What do you learn about his family and childhood? Who or what has helped or influenced his life and career like job. What are the important milestones in his life so far? What is his ambition? And what do you learn about his friends? Okay, so then like find the partner from the other group. We are not going to do this, but when you read these questions and go for the article, you can do the scanning. Look at the first person, Nick. Okay, this is Nick. Okay, what can you see from the picture? Generally, we can see him having a laptop, or we have a mobile phone with, I think, applications. So you already have an image about what he is genius in, and what his specialty is, and what he is going to tell us. Okay, so the photo is like a kind of skimming also, because seeing the photo can tell you something about the article. Okay, the headings: inspirational teenagers. I already the title here, I already told you about this. Let's go for the second person is JPOG 18, singer-songwriter, and the third person is Sarah Thomas 16, the carer. Okay, let's go for the article here. Okay, first we are going to read only the first part. Okay, for today I'm going only to tell you the introduction and to read about the first person. You don't have to listen to me reading. Okay, you can do that at home, but I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to tell you how to do the skimming and the scanning. Okay, so the first thing, we read the title. Okay, we read the headline is like about Nick. Also, we are going to talk about some details and facts. Today's teenager, as you can see now, I'm reading the introduction. I'm gonna move this screen in a way that it's clear for you. Today's teenagers often get a bad press but they are not all hanging about streets, corners, or sulking in their bedrooms. The ones featured here, like most of the UK's 5.5 million teens, are ambitious, talented, and making the most of their lives. Okay, yeah, talented and making the most of their lives, often against the odds, difficulties. Okay, the article is written by Judith and Fiona. Report. Okay, the first person, let's go for him to read about him. Okay, the first one is about Nick. Is the founder of the London-based company Sumley. Okay, he grew up in Perth, Australia. So guys, here I'm talking about some details about his life. Now I'm reading in details. This is not skimming. Skimming is like just to not even to read by your using your lips and mouth. It's just using your eyes and with a quick rapid movement. Okay. So now I'm going through, if I'm doing this without even reading, using my lips. So I can say Australia, like family was London, he's 7, and he was 9 when he was given the computer. 12, he got an iPhone, and okay, summarize. Then I have a speech for him. Okay. The thing is that I don't have time to click. Okay, so he created this application because he doesn't have time to read all the articles. Okay, at 16 he created Summary. Okay, to go through pages, and also it helps. See, I'm doing the skimming now. Okay, now let's read for scanning. Also, I stop at the details and keywords. Nouns, names, dates. Things like that, details like that. Okay. Again, I said he is the founder of the London-based company Sumley. He grew up in Perth, Australia. His dad is a banker and his mother is a lawyer. The family moved to London when Nick was 7. At the age of 9, he was given his own computer, which he put to use creating movies. At Okay, so I have the age of 9, I have the age of 7, and I have the job of the father and the mother. At the age of 12, he got an iPhone and began writing apps. He created a Face Mode, an app that looked at your friend's Facebook timeline and summarized what mood they were in by, because he wanted to summarize more. Okay, so maybe he doesn't have time, he's not in the mood to read all what his friends wrote on their timeline, so he created this face mode. Okay, the thing is, I don't have time to click in and out of every story and article on the web that interests me. Okay, I want to find a way to skim read content before reading the complete article. Maybe he's not interested in the subject or in the topic of the article, so this could help him skim reading. As I said, skimming for a general idea. Okay, reading the complete article. The time is right for this. Okay. Even Google knows that something needs to be done to make sense of the web overrun by diarrhea of words. Okay, good. So at just 16, he created Summary, and which automatically summarizes web pages and news articles. It had 100,000 downloads of its first month. Okay, check here. Of its first month, and attracted $250,000 in funding from the Chinese billionaire Li Ka-shing. Okay, how does Nick reconcile his life? Reconcile his life is it means like to make a good relationship with others. Okay, I lost the reading. Okay, reconcile his life as an entrepreneur with his other life as a student and a teenager. I like a load of things. I am a keen fan of rugby and cricket. I enjoy school and being with my friends, and I work hard at school. I'm learning Russian and Mandarin, and also I don't want to be seen as a kid who created an app. It's just an app which happens to have a kid behind it. Nice, view and perspective. He's kind of modest. Okay, Steve Jobs is an idol of mine. Like my role model, my idol is something like, or someone you worship or you admire so much. Okay, he had a clear vision of his product. Like him, I'm obsessive about controlling every aspect of my product. This is nice. He cares for details. Nick's ambition is to summarize the entire web. Is still a journey in progress, but the world of technology will be hearing about his exploits for a long time to come. He has recently sold Summary to Yahoo for $30 million. Okay? You can give a summary of this. Okay, Nick is a teenager. He was fond of technology from the early beginning. At the age of 7, he got a mobile phone. Okay, at the age of 7, they moved to London. At the age of 9, he was given a computer. At the age of 12, he was given an iPhone. Started, he was, very interested and obsessive about this, and it was his passion. He created an app, which is Face Mode, that can tell you about the mood of the person. It can, read the timeline of what your friends write on their timeline to tell, just to express or to know their mood, something like this. Okay. Also, that was very interesting for him. He's so modest. He doesn't feel like he had done something very genius. Okay. At the age of 16, he created Summary, which automatically summarizes, the articles that you read. Also, in the first month, you know, he attracted like the $250,000 in funding from Chinese billionaire. Also, he talked about his hobbies. Okay, he's interested in many things, you know, including rugby, cricket. He enjoys school also so much. He likes to be a top student. He doesn't feel like he had done something great about the product he mentioned. His idol is Steve Jobs, and he's obsessive about let me say, controlling every single aspect of his product. Okay, he believes that he still has a very long journey to create, through the world of technology, because it's huge. And then he recently sold the app he created, which is about summarizing, to Yahoo. Okay, for $30 million. So here we have a little millionaire. Okay, so yeah, this is the idea. I'm not gonna read all of these about the people. Now you can answer the questions and you can summarize. Okay, by the way, you can summarize from the first reading. The most important thing is to mention the numbers, the important events, the important details about his personality, because we are talking about a teenager here, and what he has done, what his ambition for the future. That's it. Then you summarize it and done. You don't have to add more. Okay, what I want you to do is to do to skim and then scan the left two paragraphs about the other teenagers and summarize the most important information about them. And next class we are going to start with vocabulary. Okay, we are going to take take and put, and we have to explain more about these, how to use them with the phrasal verbs also. Okay, that was everything for today. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you can express your personality, and please try to how can I say it? Try to take the new words from the articles, and please read more about skimming and scanning, especially for students who are going for IELTS and TOEFL, because they are very two important skills that you and techniques that you need to learn about. Okay, enjoy your the rest of your day. Wish you the best. Stay. I know if you're staying home till now, but stay safe. This is the best thing to say. Stay healthy and take care of yourselves. Thank you very much. See you next class. Goodbye.